Hey everyone, welcome to the West Coast Barbell Club Exercise Library. Right now we're going to have a quick look at benching with chains. Okay, it's normally an exercise variation reserved for the more advanced lifters when I come to program for them. Okay, it's largely fallen out of favour for a lot of people. A lot of people criticising Westside, Louis Simmons' methods of using accommodating resistance for not being particularly useful for raw powerlifting or general strength development, but I think it can be a novel training variation for people to play around with. I think it looks super cool using chains, and I think it can actually have a fair bit of utility in an athletic performance environment. People who play contact sports where bumping people off is part of the sport, rugby, footy, and so on. Anyway, we quickly go through how we get these set up. You want to set them up so that they're symmetrical on both sides. That's obviously important so the bar is evenly loaded. Okay. You want to set them up so the links are just touching the ground when the bar's in the rack. Obviously then as you unrack it, there should be kind of one or two links just hovering on the floor. And then as you go through most of the range of motion, that's where you want to have most of the chain weight position. So it deloads a fair bit towards the bottom and then reloads as you get higher up the range of motion. Okay, make sure they're symmetrical on both sides and evenly loaded. Okay, and then from there, everything else remains pretty much the same. You're going to want to think about exploding nice and fast out of the bottom position to compensate for the fact that you're going to be more inclined to decelerate as the weight increases with each link that gets picked up off the floor. Okay, so it's going to look like this. So given the weight distribution, you're going to have to work a little bit hard to stabilise through your shoulders while doing any kind of bench work with chains. But other than that, everything remains pretty consistent, okay, compared to normal benching. Just make sure that you get your setup right. Everything should be evenly loaded and spread out so that it feels nice and symmetrical in your hands. Okay, that's our bench work with chains.